Good afternoon. My name is Bonnie Hainline, and I am the for the 2014-2015 season. Introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Ashley. Today I am going to help facilitate some of the questions that you guys are going to have. So I can see all questions that are asked, and throughout the session I will be repeating the questions, and then Bonnie and I will answer questions when appropriate or hold them to the end and address them then.
All right, so we'll get started with our first topic for today, which is sharing information about the club basketball league in general and what you might come to expect. So frequently asked questions that we see, and of course everything is kind of going to be in the registration of these teams, and then national championship tournament entry fee. So our conference champions will receive their entry fee paid to the national tournament that will be at NC State in Raleigh, North Carolina this year. Travel stipends for conference champions as well to travel to the national tournament, and then league insurance costs. So that's just insuring the league itself to be able to run the league efficiently and effectively from a business standpoint. There's not a profit that's looking to be made off of the teams. These are all just at cost of what it's costing us to provide this type of service for you. For each conference, we will have a commissioner. We'll be connecting you with that commissioner this week, their email address and who they are later this week. You have two options for scheduling. We can do round-robin tournaments, or you can do individual games. So they are laid out in the manual as well. And the round-robin option, that is going to take 3 or 4 teams and play those games on a Saturday or Sunday or over the course of a weekend. We are setting up your one-on-one contest individually, so you'll have a home team and an away team, and those could happen during the week or on the weekend. Obviously, the individual games will take a longer period of time to get completed, whereas the round-robin games are going to get a larger chunk of games completed in one weekend. There's definitely pros and cons of each. The cons to round-robin, you might see it as playing more than one game in a day. However, the pro at the same time is you're getting some of your league games in very quickly, but also efficiently, so your travel is reduced. Individual games, you're going to see increased travel, but you can also focus all of your energy and effort towards that one game that you have coming up. In the women's conference right now, we have at least 4 confirmed teams. We're going to play each team once. We're looking at 9 or 10 teams in that area. So that is kind of in a nutshell what scheduling is. We will need to decide, each conference, the men's conference and the women's conference, will need to decide whether you want to play in a round-robin format or in an individual game format. Season dates. So when are we going to start playing? Through the 23rd as season dates, and then January 9th through March 15th as season dates. We will hold exceptions. February 6th through 8th is University of Maryland is hosting a NIRSA regional basketball tournament. And then February 20th through the 22nd, Boston is hosting a NIRSA regional tournament. So those weekends we will not host competition, and effort and allowance for you to be able to have your schedule free to participate in each of those tournaments should you choose to do so. Remembering that there are opportunities to earn your way an entry fee paid to the national tournament as well as a stipend by attending those regional tournaments. So how do we provide? We will collect availability through IM Leagues. You'll go onto your team page and you'll be able to fill out an availability. All availability will be due by Sunday, November 2nd. We'll also need to collect host site availability. So I know some of you have emailed me already about being able to host, but we're going to look at when teams can play, when host sites can host, and then we will schedule games. However, if we go from an individual basis, your opponent will be scheduled, and then you're going to have to find a location between the two of you that it will work. So round robin is a little bit easier, I think, on the host side, whereas individual, we have many games to get set up and played. Therefore, there's going to be a lot of conversation about which team is going to host. Conference champions. So our conference champions will be determined based on the highest winning percentage. They will receive a bid and funding for the national championship tournament in Raleigh, North Carolina, as I said earlier. Tiebreaker procedures, which is the only one I think we're going to need, is going to be a head-to-head format, but it is all outlined in the manual as far as how our tiebreaker standards are going to go. We will follow that manual when it comes time to deciding our conference champions. Rules. So our general rules are outlined in the 2014-2015 NIRSA Club Basketball League. We have a few things that are modified so that we can utilize the NCAA rules as well. So be sure to read through those and understand which rules we're playing by. Then there are also timing formats that you can select as a conference. You can play two 20-minute halves, the clock stopping on all whistles during the last 2 minutes of each half. So you have a running clock for the first 18 minutes. The OT will be a 3-minute period with the clock stopping on all whistles during the last minute. Each team will receive 3 timeouts per game, 1 additional timeout for each overtime period. Overtime will be a 5-minute period with the clock stopping on all whistles. Each team will receive 4 timeouts per game, 1 additional timeout. The conference needs to decide as a whole, and then every game needs to be played by the same timing rules. So if option 1 will have to be played by option 1, and if option 2 is selected, all will have to be played by option 2. So then this is important, something for you to think about when selecting option 1 or option 2 for the conference. Officials who are qualified to officiate this level of basketball and a game. The host team will be responsible for collecting the fee and paying each official. We do recommend a rate for the running clock, so that's option 1 of $15 to $20 per game, whereas option 2 with a standard clock, $40 to $45 per game. So why that's important to what we just looked at on the previous slide is what type of expenses are you looking to incur throughout the basketball season. And then finally, the conference assigner is responsible for officials' communication and scheduling. So they will work with you to get a team responsibility role. Communicate with your campus recreation staff. Recreation staff, especially when we are looking at hosting at your site to make sure that we do have everything that is necessary from both the site and from your school. Uniforms, so numbers, they must be unique numbers for each individual participating. They must be digits 0 through 5, so then that means 10 through 15, 20 through 25. We recommend that they be on both sides of the uniform. They cannot be taped onto a t-shirt. They must be permanent numbers affixed to that shirt or whatever you are utilizing. Light and dark versions are required. So if you come up against a team who is only wearing dark, you need to switch to light. If they cannot switch either, we'll start the game with an administrative technical foul for failing to meet the requirement. So it'll be 1 for the entire team. Not every individual who doesn't meet the requirement. League responsibilities, so games played and availability. We can the required number of games to qualify to be a conference champion is necessary, so you must play everyone in the league. If a team is, or everyone in the conference, if a team is causing issues and they're not playing anyone, we will look at that and adjust appropriately if you've played everyone except for one team and they've also struggled to play other teams. We'll take that into consideration for the conference champion. Hosting a round robin or individual event, so benefits and expectations. So the benefits of hosting is you're looking at home court advantage, using opportunities for your club, concession sales, those type of things, depending on what your site will allow you to do. Facility needs, if requested. Team bench area, so chairs or benches to accommodate at least 12. Clean floors and backboards. Visible and functional scoreboards. Fully stocked restrooms, seating for spectators. I'd have that would be great.
The question reads, if we decide to be a host site, do we have to get the officials for the game, or does NIRSA provide them? Or so as far as officials go, the rules, that'll be how much you owe. Not a problem. Do we have any other questions? The next question asked was, how do we give input on which format to run the conference? Where you'll go online, select the options.
Just to add to that, one of the things I wanted to see was how many people would be on this webinar. And unfortunately, we do not have enough on the webinar to make a decision today. So what I'll be doing is emailing all of the teams in each conference and collecting that feedback. Once I have that feedback, the availability will be placed on IM Leagues, and then you'll be able to provide your availability. The reason why we're waiting to put the availability up for collection is if we are doing round robin, then we only need to put weekend dates. If we are doing information today, please email me should you have any additional questions. You all should have my email address. I'm the one who sent you the webinar registration, the voting for a round robin or individual format for the league. Thank you.